Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 6 of 30 Whys in 30 Days. Today, my why is hope. Hope is the only word that ever can combat fear. When somebody enters into the cancer community, it is not planned. Cancer is not something that you plan on. It's not a community that you want to join. It's something that you're kind of thrust into feet first with no typical warning at all. When you have children, it's even worse, especially for parents, because oftentimes the parent is, what could I do? How do I take care of my child? They can't focus on anything other than the cancer. And unfortunately, cancer isn't something you can just fix. It's not something that just goes away overnight. It's a battle. It's a battle that lasts months. It can be a battle that lasts years. And for children, it's a battle that often lasts a lifetime, because even after treatment ends, there's still things that we have to do, such as go to yearly follow-up checkups, get, EKGs and echoes every so many years, get MRIs, get CT scans. It all depends on what type of cancer a child has. And hope is one of those words that I like to use because I'm on a lot of social media posts for parents who have cancer. I'm not a parent who had cancer, but I'm a 29-year survivor, soon to be 30 in a few months. And I can offer these parents words of wisdom, not only from a personal perspective, but also from a child life recreational therapy perspective, because I've worked within the pediatric oncology world for many years as well. So I come at this from many different hats to some degree. And the other day there was a post a parent put out there asking about a certain chemo drug. They heard that this chemo has risks of cardiac issues and didn't know if they should forego doing this chemo to save the child from having cardiac issues in the future. I totally understand where this parent is coming from. They're figuring out, what can I do to help my child in the future? What can I do now to help my child? And so I went on that. I don't post on everything. I don't reply to every post on these parents' pages, but every now and then my gut tells me I should. Or as I like to think, the Holy Spirit kind of guides me to what I should and should not post on. And so I posted on this one, and I explained that I'm a 29-year survivor and that I had the same exact chemo drug that her son was supposed to have. And I explained that cardiac issues is a big thing for childhood cancer survivors. Cardiac issues is one of the number one long-term effects that we deal with because of the chemo. And I explained that, yes, cardiac issues are an issue. However, what she doesn't know is, because she hasn't finished treatment yet, she doesn't realize the survivor resources that now exist that did not exist when I was diagnosed. I was honestly one of the lucky ones, and I didn't know it at the time, but when I finished treatment, my survivorship clinic basically did give me a list, gave me a treatment summary of all the chemo I was on, all the doses I was on, my radiation records, everything I needed to know about the 2.5 years of treatment I had. That was revolutionary at the time in 1996. Very few, if not maybe a handful of clinics were doing that at the time that I'm aware of. Now, to some degree, that's common practice. And so what they're going to receive, what, current patients receive when they finish treatment, is this patient summary. And there's resources out there like Passport for Care that take that summary and then provide you with information on, if you had this chemo, these are the things you need to watch out for, and these are the tests that you need to have done to monitor these things. So for example, I have, again, cardiac issues that are potential for me. And so every 3 years, I do have to get EKGs and echoes to make sure that my heart is functioning properly. I'm very cautious about that, especially because of my medical mistake where I had a central line put into an artery instead of a vein. So my chemo, where they were getting me into remission right away, was going straight to my heart first. So I've kind of always worried about, what is my heart going to look like, 20, 30 years from now. So I'm very cautious of, following up on these tests. And I explained to these parents, there's other resources like the Children's Oncology Group having their guidelines. And you have other resources out there that help survivors track their medical care, track what care they had. I explained that you want to give this information to every single doctor that your child will ever see in the future, because you never know what might have an effect. I remember when I had to have my wisdom teeth out, I told my oral surgeon that I had cranial radiation, and he refused to do my oral surgery until he had those radiation records. And it took me a while to get them because of being out of state, but I got them. And I told him, and I asked him, I was like, why do you need my radiation records to pull my teeth? And he's like, because cranial radiation can thin the jaw lining and the jawbone. And he wanted to make sure where the radiation was to play it safe. And I was so grateful for having an oral surgeon who was proactive and understood that cranial radiation could actually affect wisdom teeth, because I didn't know that. Thankfully, he did. And so it's things like this, that these types of stories that I tell parents, making them aware of what is to be expected, but also make them aware that there are resources and people like me out there who are trying to pave the way for survivors for a lifetime. I don't know many survivors who have survived as long as I have. I know some, but I don't know a whole lot. We were that first generation. We're on that cusp of that first generation who survival was more common than death, which is a great thing, especially in the leukemia world. But again, surviving is still a lifetime because I have to deal with these long-term consequences. I have to deal with these tests every year that a normal person doesn't have to. My husband doesn't have to have these tests. My siblings don't have to have these tests, but I do. Why? Because I had cancer at 14. So I raise money, I raise awareness to provide hope. There's a couple more resources that are going to be coming out, hopefully at the end of this year, from the Coalition Against Childhood Cancer, CAC2, that are going to be amazing. We have the Survivorship Toolkit that's going to be coming out, which is going to be a game changer in the survivorship world. I don't want to go into it a little too much right now, but know that's coming. And also the Better Together Survivorship Connection, which is going to basically be an online database where you can search resources and organizations specifically for survivors. CAC2 already has one out there for patients and their families called the Hope Portal. And basically we're combining the Hope Portal and Better Together Survivorship Connection to create the Childhood Cancer Hub. And this is going to, again, be a game changer in the cancer world. And this is why I'm an advocate. This is why I'm constantly fundraising. Any money that you can donate, be it $1, $5 or more, that goes to the Gold Together American Cancer Society is specifically earmarked for pediatric cancer support, research, and awareness. You can help make a difference in the lives of future patients, current patients, and past patients like me. Thank you for your help. And remember to live life, love life, and cherish every moment.